Hey, welcome back, guys. All right, so Scorpios, let's take a look at love for Scorpio. All right, tomorrow I'll get to Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus is the one zodiac I haven't gotten to yet for the first round of videos for this week. So I apologize, but Scorpio, this is your first one also, but you will get another one before the week is out. This is a banger of a good storyline for love. We literally have the Two of Cups and the Ten of Cups as our first two cards out. It doesn't get sweeter. It doesn't get more like confident, more loving. This is, I mean, can we stop here? Can this just be the story for Scorpio? This is beautiful. We have two people that seem to be, I mean, meant to be together, made for each other. We have the Fool card, which is this leap of faith. If this is a fairly new connection, it's not coming across as new. Hi, Sandy. Hi, baby. Thank you again for being here. It's not coming across like there's any hesitations. It's not coming across like someone doesn't know if they are interested. It doesn't feel like there's any hesitation on either person's side. You know, sometimes when life is really heavy and really real and there's big terrible things that go on in the world, sometimes that's when we say, you know, the most important thing is to love, to open up our hearts. We know how precious it is when we meet somebody that we feel is a really beautiful person and we're drawn to them and attracted to them. And I almost feel like for this fictional story, the fearlessness to approach love and say, look, I got to see where this thing goes because I feel this is something special. And instead of, you know, getting flooded with the immediate nerves and worries about like, oh my gosh, what if a love doesn't last forever? Or what if, you know, I don't feel like these characters are worried about the what ifs. I think that they're just saying, this is a beautiful thing. Let's totally embrace it. Let's fully explore it. I want to love. That feels, oh my God, we got the Knight of Cups. It feels like right out of the gate, this does feel like a love at first sight. Like I already know that I want to see where this thing goes with you. Right out of the gate. I'm unafraid to admit that to myself. Now let the dating begin. Let the love songs start to play. Let the romance and the soft music, you know, strike the violins. Let's get a beautiful piece of music going. It feels like this is mutual. This is Scorpio and someone else feeling the exact same way. It is really strong on the water energy, really strong on the emotional side, but then we also have Aries energy coming in. Tell me about them. Who is this person? Three of Pentacles sideways. It could be somebody Scorpio has worked with, whether it was like, you know, working. We can use the word work in a lot of different ways. You know, sometimes it's literally we work for a paycheck. Other times, you know, we're volunteering doing something. Sometimes it's just, you know, next door neighbor came over and helped us, you know, whatever, hold a panel against our fence as we were, you know, spraying or hosing something down. You know, we did a little bit of work together. It's somebody who knows already that Scorpio is like a very stable, solid, and reliable person. That's already someone that they would like to imagine building something beautiful with and something lasting. That's the thing. Even if this is a love at first sight, it's not overly romantic because it's grounded also in the energy of like, I want to build something with you. I already could see it the first time I met you. I want to build something with you. They probably know this because they've had other heartbreaks in the past themselves. They may be in their feminine energy right now, even if they're masculine, doesn't matter what gender, but a wounded warrior energy. I think they've had plenty of disappointments in love. I think they want to be loved. That could be why we see them in the feminine energy, because that's the receptive energy of the moon. Like, I want to pull love toward me, which is interesting because maybe that's why these two are just going to be so cuddly. I feel like there's a lot of like tendency to like give each other physical support, you know. Not everybody is real touchy, right? But I think this Scorpio and this particular individual that they're going to match with, I think they automatically almost if anything, right from the gate, it could be hard for them not to like embrace each other. You know, when you sometimes just feel a nice comfort zone with a person and it's like, I don't really know them, but for some reason it feels so natural to like want to hold their hand as we walk. Or it just feels so comfortable to stand, you know, close and feel their shoulder standing next to mine. All of these cards, we have, you know, them kind of wrapped around and embracing each other, just feeling like it's nice to feel you beside me. That kind of like comfort zone, I don't think that's typical, not for Scorpio and not for them. And I think it feels supernatural, or I should say very natural to both of them right from the gate. Like I could totally see myself comfortably, you know, hugging this person just in, and then continuing to like stand there embracing them as we chit chat. Like that might be something where it's harder for these two to remember not to embrace, because it feels like I think I'm supposed to be, you know, holding your hand or linking my arm in yours. I feel like Scorpio is definitely like welcoming that energy, but they're sending out their heart song as well as willing to receive it, which is so interesting because the other individual involved, they too are wanting to receive warmth. You know how nice that is? Where it's like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm going to use a pet as an example. You know, when you see, like, anytime I walk by my dog, he's so freaking adorable. You know, immediately I want to give him a little pet. Well, he loves to be pet. I have massaged Aries since he was a puppy, you know, and like I work on his little ears and I work on his little feet and I work, you know, down his little spine, and he just loves it. And that's just you know, it's you like your little pet, they're adorable, of course you want to pet them. And when they are like, oh, pet me, you know, he'll just come up and tell me that he needs a pet. That's such a nice, I don't know, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just like, it's just a kindness, it's just a sweet, like, you know, my little fuzzy guy is right over there, and it's just really nice. Now we apply that to, you know, these adult humans, and there's that comfort zone. Like they both want that same level of like comfort zone with each other. They want to held and be held, or hold and be held, I suppose is how I should say it. It's just very it feels very comfortable. It feels like what they both want and need, and it just feels very wholesome. Okay, so they have been lonely for a long time. There's a great song, I Want to Be Loved Too Much. It's a country song. I can't think of anything else other than it's a male singing it, and it's a 90s country song. It might be a John Michael Montgomery. I don't think so, though. I can't think who sings it. We've got a King of Wands and a Ten of Wands. Okay, so they are definitely in their feminine and masculine energy. As you know, we're all both of those energies, but particularly for them, we see a feminine king, and we saw them with a lot of feminine cards at the beginning, but then we see them as a king. So I'm going to say him, but just be mindful that this is a very loving and usually like an action taking king. But right now, they really, really want to receive love and comfort as well. I feel like this would be one of their, sweet, you're so awesome. Thank you. Thank you, honey, for titling that artist's name for me. You're so great. Thank you. God, you are so good with music. Um, there's this energy where it's like, not only do they want closeness, not only do they, I think it's been a long time since they, you know, had someone to hold. I feel like it's a huge relief to meet somebody like Scorpio and to recognize Scorpio is vibing the same way. Scorpio is feeling the same thing. I'm ready for companionship, partnership, love. It's not weird that I want to be cuddly. I feel like this person's going to be a big old teddy bear. And I think it's going to suit Scorpio just great. You know, all of this feels like companionship, gentleness, you know, kind of like telling each other, like, I'm here. That kind of closeness is what I think they're both craving, more so than, you know, the intense, passionate romance. This is more like, I mean, I'm sure they have that too, but this is more than that. It's way deeper than like, oh, you're so sexy, you're so hot. This is very much I want to be close to a person that I feel, you know, has my best interest at their heart and I have theirs in my heart. Very beautiful. Tell me a little bit more about these two, because I mean, it seems to be immediate. Seven of Cups, Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so a 7-7. Sevens are divine numbers, so we know the hand of the divine is in this. Fives and sevens are both numbers of change as well. And so Seven of Cups is like all these different options. Seven of Pentacles is, progression of time and experience, and now it's time to harvest things. What I would say about this is that Scorpio's met plenty of people and didn't want most of them. And at this point, you notice how she's sitting here all dressed up, but she's sitting here at this winery, but there's only one glass. And it's like, I know there's a lot of people out there, but none of them have like spoken to my heart. And I'm kind of feeling like Scorpio might have recently sat down by themselves and had a little conversation with the universe and said, universe, can you give me a little help here? I know there's a lot of beautiful people, but nobody has spoken to my heart yet. I'm kind of done drinking wine alone at a beautiful winery in my fine dress. Could you please help me like meet the person that I'm really looking for? Because I think what I'm looking for is a divine counterpart. I know there's a lot of people to date. I can't just randomly date. I want something way more special. I kind of think this is basically Scorpio saying, I'm ready for the person of my life. I'm ready for the person that I'll stay with. Universe, can you point in my direction? Sometimes when we ask for what we need, what we're ready for, that's exactly when we get it. How is the universe answering? The universe is saying to Scorpio, all right, perfect. When you go to bed tonight, envision everything that you want in a partner. And most importantly, envision like the happiness and the love that you want to give and receive. Imagine giving and reciprocating that, and sleep on that. Let that be the dreams that, or the intentions that we set before we fall asleep at night. I think that's probably really great advice to always fall asleep thinking about the kindness that we want to experience, or what we'd like to call into our lives. And we have the Six of Pentacles. So beautiful. This is all about, it's kind of like by the light of day. That's where Scorpio may meet this person really, really rapidly after putting their intentions out there. Part of it is, they're acknowledging what they want. And we already saw this King of Wands. They have wanted love in their life as well. I really think this is not just a divine counterpart. It's that two people are in the same frequency. And maybe that's what makes them divine counterparts, because they both want to give and receive exactly the same thing. So they're going to be a great match. Maybe that is, why they're going to gravitate toward each other, because they've consciously admitted to themselves, I really would like to meet the one I would stay with, and the one who looks at love the same way I do. How important it is, especially at this point in my life. Look, I'm sure this Scorpio has a fulfilling life without a partnership, but in this story, this Scorpio is ready for a long-term partner, and a really special one that really matches them in how they view partnership. That is probably the key component here, is how do you look at life and love? Do you share my vision for that? Judgment card sideways. Talk about like a special relationship, right? We've got Stonehenge here. This is like that mysterious, I don't know what or how everything is aligning. Stonehenge is a great mystery. Love is quite a mystery. How do we know when we've met the person for us? That's a big mystery. And this storyline, what I kind of like about it is the universe is saying, well, it's when you are ready. That's when you meet the love of a lifetime. It's when something inside of you is sure about what quality of relationship you want. If you are genuinely ready for that divine counterpart, that kind of magical, mystical, amazing counterpart, and you're unafraid to, when you meet that person, to go ahead and, like Fall. I'm hearing that song by Andrea Bocelli and his son Matteo, Fall on Me. Um, it just feels like that's when you're not afraid of it, that's when you meet it. Because it does take a certain amount of like courage maybe to believe in love and to be unafraid to give one's heart. And I kind of feel like this is, the judgment card is about making the judgment call. It's also about resurrecting, things that maybe in this case, like resurrecting our heart and being willing to love again, resurrecting hope. I don't know. I don't see this as two people who have already known each other. It could be, but this is also Scorpio, right? It's a judgment card. It could potentially be, though, that these two have known each other. And, we are still in retrograde season too until what, the 10th of August. So perhaps, but I don't know. I don't really think. We have the Hermit. No, I'm going to say I don't think that it's that these two have already been lovers before. Now they're coming back around to each other. I think this is two people who've been on their quiet, dark night of the soul journeys long enough. They've healed from past, hurts and traumas. And they're at a point where it's like, you know what? I'm not going to spend these next years of my life without a partner to love and hold and kiss. There's times in our life where we love being alone. There's times in our life where we need to be alone. There's times in our lives where we've got to heal. And then there's times in our lives where we're like, screw that. I'm ready for some cuddles. And I think that's where these two characters are. Can we just ask any other final question just about them? Because I feel like there's just something that I missed on them. Ten of Cups, King of Wands again. So we know they're a King of Wands, and we know this is as cosmic and kind of like mystical for them. The eyeball of the divine is here. They're coming through the Milky Way galaxy. We've got the mystery of the pyramids. They're going to feel just as kind of like, this is almost freaky. I was just thinking, I'm ready to meet somebody. I really want to cuddle. I really want someone in my life. I'm kind of tired of being lonely. I want to be loved. I want to be unburdened. I don't want a love story that I feel is uncertain. I want somebody who wants to stay with me, and I want to stay with them. And we're not afraid of that. I don't want to meet somebody, start dating them, and then they're like, you know what? I'm not sure that I ever want to be in a long-term commitment. I feel like this is the context of this story. These are the cards we got. Scorpio and this person are both ready for long-term, stable, genuine love, genuine happiness, genuine affection, and lack of fear. You notice how there was never holding back ever in this story anywhere. Neither character wants somebody who's uncertain, somebody who's going to make it difficult, somebody who's going to be like, well, I love you, but I feel like we should, live in separate places for 10 years. I really feel like this is two people who want to be together. That's what this storyline is about. And it's kind of amazing that they're so perfectly matched. I think they're both going to be a little bit mystified at how perfectly matched both of them are. All right, I'm going to leave this one here. You guys, thank you so much. Sandy, again, so great to see you again tonight. Hey, I am Rashul. Thank you for being here. Sweet, you're so awesome. So appreciate that. Nuh-uh. I love your name. Thank you for being here. Is that Australia? Are you in Australia? I think that's a flag I'm seeing, right? I always love to know where everybody's from. Sweet, you're adorable. I hear you, Sandy. Yes. What a great thing to look for. Oh, sweet. Thank you for quoting that. Love that. Yeah, I don't know all the lyrics to that song. I can hear it being sung in my mind's eye right now. But mostly I sing along with the tempo. All right, you guys. Lots of love. Thanks again for hanging out with me, Scorpios. I thank you guys for giving it a thumbs up. And we're going to get to today's topic next. So bye for now.